Hello and welcome to NexBotix, the podcast series that looks at ways that automation can supercharge your business processes. I'm Chris and I'm here today with Josh from Softcat.
Thank you very much, Chris. Nice to be here. Indeed.
So today we're going to explore the partnership that we have with Softcat from a direct customers together as a go-to-market, but also actually some work we're doing internally with Softcat. So it's really good to be here and good to have you on the call today, Josh.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, good to be here and looking forward to discussing the relationship and where we're at.
Brilliant. So first things first, why did you think that the partnership with NexBotix would be the right one, and why did you choose us to be your elite partner?
Yeah, so I've been at Softcat for a couple of years, and I was on the lookout for another automation vendor or partner to add to our books. And as you know, I get approached all the time by different partners and vendors wanting to work with Softcat. So in terms of what I was looking for, it was something quite unique, something that would add significant value ultimately to our offering. And it was after a few reach outs from one of your internal sales guys, I think it was, that I originally had the call with them, the idea, the approach that you guys had, it just felt right. What I was after from a partner, you ticked all of the boxes. The fact that you guys have your own platform, but ultimately work with the biggest brands in the automation space as well, was key. And the whole sort of discovery piece and the services piece that you offer, I personally felt that from a reseller's perspective, would add significant value to not only my team but to our account managers when we were talking to our customers about it.
Awesome, and I guess it's going pretty well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Initially, it always takes a little bit of time to get to know the ways that NexBotix and Softcat work, but I think culturally we're a really good fit. I think that we've done some really good work around the types of customers that we want to go after, the types of opportunities that we want to work on, I'm absolutely delighted where we're at a couple of years down the line.
And what do you think from a size of customer perspective? Because Softcat's got over 10,000 customers. I mean, there's different numbers you hear banded around, but certainly over 10,000 customers. What do you think is a good sweet spot size of customer for us?
I think that was one of the things that really stood out to me when I initially heard and started to talk to NexBotix. It was the fact that you guys would be comfortable talking to any customer of any size. Of course, you will have your sweet spot. I think that very much depends on the types of opportunities, the types of processes that we're looking to automate. But I would say that the mid-market is probably the market that we look to target initially, and what we have been targeting and where we've had our success. But I very much think that over the next few years, as more customers look to go down the automation route, then that will probably shift, and I think we've got the capabilities to move with the market.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that, I guess the good thing about the mid-market is that those companies tend to want someone like us to do a fully managed service for them, because they don't necessarily have the skills internally. They don't want to go and hire those skills. So if they can find a company to do the end-to-end solution and manage it in life, it's kind of ideal.
Yeah, and I think what we've really found together as a partnership over this couple of years is that a lot of customers approach us wanting to go down the automation route, but they don't necessarily know where to start. They feel like they have processes internally that will be suitable for automation, but actually they need some help in understanding their own business processes, which might sound strange, not knowing their own business processes, but actually that is really common. So I think the sort of the mid-market size customer enables us to really work closely with the customers, whether it be go on site or virtual, work closely and almost become an extended part of their organisation, really understand the processes, and then that then ultimately enables us to provide the customer with an even better business case because we really understand the process. Maybe we could talk about an existing project that we've got on the go at the moment, maybe the Mewburn Ellis opportunity.
Perfect, Josh. I think that'd be good for the audience to understand a real life use case. So Mubin Ellis, law firm in Bristol, existing Softcat customer, albeit trading in a small way initially. But I guess if you recall, we set up the legal sector event down in Bristol, and you and your team were really helpful to get a bunch of legal customers there, and our team presented to the audience about legal processes as well as kind of standard business processes. And actually off the back of that, Mubin were interested. I think they'd already sort of had some internal conversations about automations, I remember. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think like most of these organisations, they will have it on some sort of IT roadmap as something that they want to look into. But yeah, that was the case.
Yeah. So actually they ran a mini RFP process, didn't they? So we collectively won that, which is fantastic news. And the process they chose initially was around invoice processing. And actually, as we know, that's pretty much one of our go-to processes. Pretty much all of our joint clients have invoice processing as one of those solutions. And I think the interesting thing for them is that it wasn't just about saving money. It was also about improving the service level agreements they had with their end suppliers. It was about reducing the backlog of work they had, and actually eliminating errors. Quite a lot of manual errors from the processing. And from a solution perspective, ultimately it was quite complex on their side. 4 different systems, quite a convoluted process of actually processing the kind of the IP patent type invoices. So we kind of streamlined that using AI assisted OCR to extract the data from invoices, doing data lookups in the various different systems, doing 3-way matching of information, and then posting that data into their finance system ultimately. And a great use case, really happy customer. We've got a case study from them as well, and a great joint customer for us to use as reference as well.
I think that was a really good one to highlight, because that was pretty early on in our relationship, wasn't it? That was certainly within the first 12 months, and that really highlighted to me the benefits of working with a services-led partner. I think the discovery work and the relationship that NexBotix built with the customer early on to get that trust, to have that level of engagement, even is paying dividend now, right? We're now talking to them about additional processes within the organisation, because they've got so much buy-in from the business because of the benefits that you guys have delivered. So that was a really good one.
No, that's great. And interestingly, a lot of the contacts that the Softcat teams have is with the IT teams, and actually that was the case here as well. Obviously, they also got their finance team involved. And I think this is a really good example of where the IT team, the head of IT, Andy, was working really closely with the financial controller, Ben, as a joint team, working with our joint teams to create this cohesive team that can work together, really understanding the benefits, not just for one part of the organisation, but for IT and finance working together, and as you say, taking to other processes across the organisation over time. So how would you say that our joint customers really benefit from the relationship with NexBotix?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, this has been a relatively new area of technology for Softcat. Softcat have only been playing in this space for the last 4 or 5 years, very much since I came on board. So I think the thing that we established very early on was that we wanted to invest and give training to the account managers that were looking after their customers on a day-to-day basis, giving them the knowledge to be able to not only be on the lookout for these types of opportunities within their accounts, but also give them the ability to have a very high-level conversation with their customers when they're talking around automation. And that is something that NexBotix have been invested in from day one. I think that from a transactional perspective, I think the value that we bring to the partnership and for our customers is that we are that trusted vehicle of procurement. So we have a lot of customers that will buy multiple IT lines of business from us, and being able to bolt on something like automation within existing contracts and things like that is of course a benefit.
So I guess it de-risks it for the client as well, doesn't it? If there's an existing trading relationship. In fact, a lot of companies don't want to add another supplier to their contract list, so if they can just procure through the existing Softcat contract, that's got to be really useful. Yeah,
exactly. And there's that trust level that's already in place. They're familiar with transacting through Softcat. And I guess from an account manager's perspective, they like it because it's additional value that they're bringing to their customer relationships. I think it's win-win all around.
Excellent. So we talked a bit about external customers and the go-to-market and the relationship we've developed there with external clients. Obviously, we're working internally with Softcat as well. So perhaps we can explore, I guess, the benefits and the solutions we've got in place internally. Firstly, of course, we've got a solution around MDL, the Managed Device Lifecycle offering that Softcat has, a massive high-growth solution that Softcat has for its customers. And our solution ultimately, when a customer puts a new request on for some hardware devices, wherever it might be, our bots effectively pick up that information, check the stock, and circle back to the customer if needs be, if there's no stock available, and then of course place the order on the downstream suppliers as well. So a pretty neat solution from an automation perspective. Just be interested to see what kind of feedback you've had internally from the MDL team on maybe some of the benefits of that.
Yeah, so from the first day that I worked at Softcat, a priority for me was that the company that I worked for deployed and utilised the technologies that I was selling. I talk to customers all day, every day about the benefits that automation brings to them from an efficiency perspective, from the ability to become more agile and things like that. So when opportunities have arose within Softcat around the deployment of automation, it's something that I've always tried to actively promote. But I also would only really recommend trusted advisors and companies that I've worked with in the past, because it is obviously for Softcat. So we had some conversations around the MDL piece, and we got NexBotix involved, and from the first moment that they were engaged with the MDL team, it's been a really, really great experience. The feedback has always been great. It's helped us scale from that perspective and put technology at the heart of that type of offering as well. So yeah, it's been an absolute excellent experience.
Great, that's really great to hear, and we've certainly had great feedback from that team, which is always positive. And of course, as well as that, we're about to go into UAT, into testing with the invoice processing solution. So that's a big solution for Softcat. Us handling 20,000 supplier invoices every month. So that's due to go live in a month's time. So I guess what we should do is perhaps park that one and come back in a few months, and we can hopefully talk about some great benefits that's delivering as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a really good win. That was a competitive scenario where lots of different vendors were involved in that process. But I think that's ultimately testament to NexBotix, with the way that they went about that process and the demonstrations and the proof of concepts that they delivered. It was obviously a very successful outcome. I know that the conversations that have been taking place over the last few months in order to get ready to go live have been really successful, and I'm sure as and when that day rolls around, it will be a huge benefit to Softcat, and I know that will help us going forward from a processing perspective as we grow and we have more invoices that we need to process on a day-to-day basis.
And of course, both those processes will be really useful in our joint selling to external customers as well.
Yeah, that was to be honest with you the reason why I was so keen for it to deploy internally, because if account managers can see the benefit that this type of technology can bring to them, and internal people can see the benefits, then it should make selling it or pitching it to our customers easier. Absolutely.
I wish it was as easy to win it internally, but I think ultimately it's good that we went through a proper RFP process, because we weren't just given the business because we were a partner of Softcat. We had to truly show that we deserve to win it for the right reasons.
We always talk to our customers about using best in breed technology and vendors and partners, and that comes back to the previous point about being that trusted advisor for our customers. It's no different in that scenario. It was a competitive situation. They looked at multiple options, and NexBotix came out on top. So it was a benefit to me that it was one of my partners, really looking forward to seeing how that goes and progresses, and then off the back of that, trying to take that to some of our customers with the outcomes being around Softcat.
Looking ahead to the next 12 months, where do you see the partnership heading?
Yeah, so from Softcat's perspective, there's been significant investment in my team. So the team has pretty much trebled with more recruits coming on board over the next 12 months. So the expansion of the team and the real focus and emphasis on the topic around automation and AI, to be honest with you, has increased significantly internally at Softcat. So
and I've noticed that as well. We've been talking to some senior teams in Softcat over the time, and there's definitely more of a buzz around it with the account managers, with the senior leadership team, and with with obviously your new team as well. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think the whole conversation around AI and automation generally has increased significantly in the world because of the accessibility now of it. And yeah, I suppose it's testament to the hard work that we've put in over the last few years, that now the offering has probably got to a stage where it is relatively mature. We've got some really good wins under our belt, that now account managers feel really comfortable taking it to their customers. So with the expansion of the team, with the maturity of the offering and our wins under our belt, I hope that the opportunities continue to grow. We get in front of more and more customers. I think that the sort of overflow from the pandemic is now sort of calming down. So things like customer events, virtual events, can come back to the table now, and yeah, we can really drive the message to our customers, because we've got a huge amount of customers that we haven't even scratched the surface with as of yet. So that's a key focus for me and the team.
And of course, we know that there's such a massive benefit that we can deliver to these organisations as well. You know, it's about, I guess, changing, modernising perhaps some of their working practices, supercharging their business processes through automation, and I guess allowing them to do work in different ways.
Yeah, of course, and different companies will have different goals and agendas and objectives for the next few years, whether that be the economic climate, whether it be the ability to not be able to hire the staff that they want. All of these types of factors play into the hands of technology like automation. So I think enabling account managers, and I think that's really important to get across. It's the solution and the outcomes and the benefits that we're selling. It's not the technology, and that's something that we need to get across to the account managers. But I think that opportunities are going to increase significantly, and I think that we're really well placed to be able to deal with them and continue on our growth.
Amazing. I think that's probably a good place to jump off. So, Josh, I'd like to say a massive thank you for joining me today. And I guess for anyone that's listening, that's the podcast for today. And actually, just please feel free to ask us any questions that you want us to cover in future podcasts. We've also got some other ones coming up around additional customers and some of our internal technical teams delivering some real high value information as well. So thanks for listening, and then we'll talk again soon.